Hello, my name is JonathanMcGrath and I'm a fourth year psychology student in the University of Limerick, and I'm here to talk to you today about depression. Depression is an illness that is associated with body, mood and thoughts. It can be defined as a mood disorder that causes a persistent feeling of sadness and it results in a lack of motivation or interest in everyday life. As depression is one of many disorders you can get, there has to be a classification between all of the disorders. All disorders are put in a book called the Diagnostic Statistical Manual 5, which states the requirements for each disorder. The criteria for depression is found here. Depression interferes with the sufferer's daily life, but also for the people around that care for the individual. A large proportion of the population suffer from depression, with 15 million Americans and 300,000 Irish people suffering from the illness. The symptoms of depression are persistent sadness, feelings of guilt, fatigue, and sometimes thoughts of suicide or self-harm. There is not one single factor that causes depression. In fact, it's said that there is a combination of genetic, environmental, biomechanical, and cognitive factors influencing depression. Today, I'm going to talk to you about cognitive factors that influence depression, better known as the cognitive approaches to depression. These approaches are known as cognitive approaches because the theories address mental events such as thinking and feeling. The cognitive approach of depression suggests that depression results from a maladaptive or irrational cognitions, which results in distorted thoughts and judgments. There are many different psychological theorists that have different ideas and aspects on the cognitive approach to depression. The theory I'm going to discuss today is by Aaron Beck. According to Dr. Aaron Beck, negative thoughts that are generated by dysfunctional beliefs are usually the main cause of depressive symptoms. He also believed there is a direct relationship between the amount and severity of someone's negative thoughts and the severity of their depressive symptoms. Beck states that there are three main dysfunctional belief themes that dominate a depressed person's thinking. Number one, the belief that they are not good enough. Number two, that all they do results in failure. And number three, the future has no prospect. When all these three themes are present, they are better known as the cognitive triad. An example of the cognitive triad may help you understand it better. Just think of this situation, that you had just failed an exam. If the cognitive triad was not present, then you would just blame the fail on you not putting in enough effort or the exam being very difficult. But if you had the cognitive triad present, then you would blame the result on the fact that you're not good enough and every exam result will be the same. These negative thoughts are not good for a person's well-being. Depression is an illness with a lot of therapy to treat it and is completely manageable. The therapy I'm going to discuss is cognitive behavioural therapy. This therapy can be used to treat many different mental health problems. The therapy is based on the whole idea that our thoughts, feelings and actions all interact with each other. Cognitive behavioural therapy has two main functions. The first one is to help people become aware of when they have negative thoughts. Once aware of those thoughts, the sufferer then have to establish the difference between their own thoughts and the reality of the situation. The sufferers also begin to realise then that their thoughts have an impact on their emotions. The second stage focuses on the behaviours that follow these thoughts that contribute to the problem. The sufferer will learn different skills and ways to deal with situations in the real world. For example, the sufferer dealing with depression would learn to talk to people about their problems. This therapy is very useful, but people having used this therapy felt at the start of the therapy that recognising these irrational negative thoughts did not make it any easier to stop having them. If that is the case, then cognitive behavioural therapy may require a lot of patience and will take some time to fix the problem. Just to give you a quick recap on what I discussed today, I said that depression is a mood disorder that causes a persistent feeling of sadness and results in a lack of motivation or interest in everyday life. The criteria for depression can be found in the Diagnostic Statistical Manual. I went through the cognitive approach to depression, which states that depression results from maladaptive irrational cognitions, which results in distorted thoughts and judgments. I also went through Aaron Beck's theory and the cognitive theory approach, which stated that thoughts that are generated by dysfunctional beliefs are usually the main cause of depressive symptoms. The therapy I discussed was cognitive behavioural therapy, which is based on the whole idea that our thoughts, feelings and actions all interact with each other. Well, thank you for listening. If you have any queries, please look at the links provided. Bye.
Created using Powtoon.